My name is Brain of Terror, and I'm an NSO at Dublin Roller Derby. In this video, we're going to talk about uncommon situations that you might run into as a lineup tracker. So the first thing that you might run into is when there are too many skaters as a team is lining up. You are well positioned to be able to notice this because you're trying to write them all down. This normally occurs because there is a skater in the box, either a pivot, a jammer, or a blocker, and the team didn't realise. So in this situation, depending on head ref and head NSO preference, you might either yourself call out, "Black team, you have too many skaters," or "Black team, you have too many jammers," and give them a chance to rectify it, or you might tell an OPR who will do that. An important note is don't coach, only tell them what the problem is, which is you've got too many skaters, how to deal with it is up to them. If it is still that many, when it gets to the jam, the refs will more directly tell people to get off, but calling off the jam if needed. Similarly, like if 3-4 was lining up, well, we know specifically they aren't allowed yet because that can only happen in jam 9, we're only in jam 8. Then you can specifically tell them, "Black 3-4, return to your bench." And if the jam was actually to start, it would need to be called off and an interference penalty, which someone else would need to sit as a substitute because they're not allowed. So let's look at some other situations. Let's say then we're going to jam 8. So next is 7-0. Got 7-2. 9-1's still here. And then we have, let's see, 16 unlikely. Let's go down with 8-0. And there isn't actually another skater. So they're skating short, which is allowed, although ill-advised usually. So you put N/A saying, it's not that I didn't get the skater number, it's that, well, there wasn't any. And that's how to signify that. Another possibility is that for whatever reason you just don't manage to get a number. Maybe the jam was really short, or you couldn't see the number, which in principle could be a penalty for uniform violation. You put down a question mark saying, look, I messed up, I didn't get that number. It happens, unfortunately. Now, another thing that might happen is, let's say that 9-1, for whatever reason, had to be substituted. Maybe there was an injury or equipment malfunction or something. So we're going into the next jam, 7-9, 7, and instead, jam 9, let's say 3-4, which is now can actually come back, and they are now sitting for them. So, oops, daisy. So that's an S to indicate that yes, they're starting there, but they're also, because they're in the same line, they're doing that. And we'll presume then we've got, say, 5-6 and 9-5. And you don't have to, but normally when there's a weird situation like this, it's good to make a note on the side saying, hey, 3-4 serving for 9-1, or something else like that. And eventually they'll get released and we're all back to normal. Something else that might happen is someone manages to get a fourth box trip. Maybe just lots of jammer swaps, but it's unlikely in general. In which case, well, make a note on the side. So use the 3 boxes and then make a note on the side as to what happened. Something else that can happen is if a skater gets 2 penalties and is going to be sitting for a minute, or then, well, you don't have to note anything down because you as lineup tracker are just tracking when they sit and when they stand back up again. So the fact that it's 2 penalties is not relevant. However, it doesn't hurt to write a little note to the sides saying like 5-6-2x, saying they got 2 penalties, so it can be checked later to make sure everything's okay. Because, well, you don't technically have to do it, but it's good for reconciliation. Similarly, if someone leaves the box early, and then they come back again, which is going to give them an additional penalty, that counts as 2 trips to the penalty box, so you have to put them in twice. And once again, left early is a handy note to have in that situation, but not at all required. The only other thing is that at the end of the period, if there are any skaters who are going to be starting the second period in the box, that you should copy it over. There is also some optional extras you can do to make life easier or just help reconciling when the head NSO is typing things off. So you might track when team timeouts and official reviews happen and for which team. You might track actual penalty counts, particularly if you're practicing for the PTLT position. That can be helpful, or anything else which you think might be of use. Because, well, you can write what you like on the edges, basically, but as long as it's in some way useful.